Hey
You see,
Jesse, I got a question for you.
yo,
Yeah.
So, are you so you agree that a mountain can block starlight, right?
oh, certainly.
Okay. And do you agree that you can pretty much use stellarium to, like, you can pick out any place on the earth and ask stellarium which star is where, and it'll tell you like where the star is and everything, right? Right? You can just put like a GPS point and be like, I want to know where this star is at, and stellarium will tell you that.
Well, what I do know from personal experience is if you put it to your location and turn on atmosphere and put your barometric pressure into it, then it does very accurately tell you the um, altitude angle of the star. I've checked the sun and some planets and some stars with my theodolite doing that.
Yeah, but
Okay,
you know
so
it
is
would
it
'cause they're selling the globe. But go ahead.
so
Go to the top
is there
lower.
two settings on stellarium, one where it says true position and then the other one's a, I don't know what the other position would be, but is there two settings that you can go to stellarium and say I want to know what the true position of the star is?
There's a toggle called atmosphere, and when you click that, it toggles between on and off. When it's on, it applies refraction correction to whatever your elevation and temperature that you key in is. If you turn it off, then it just shows it at the geometric position.
But we're in the atmosphere, right? When we're on Earth, there's atmosphere all around us. So why would there be a toggle switch like that?
Uh, it's a free program. It's a free open source program, and the people who volunteered their generous time to write it added that feature. But I was not involved with the development, so I could not tell you specifically why. Although, as a software developer myself, I would say that it would be an extremely helpful troubleshooting tool to be able to click that off. And like if maybe a star isn't showing up in the right place, and you're trying to aim your telescope, your question is, well, is the refraction formula messing it up? So you can click that off. Or is it just the star database has a bad entry? So I would say it's a pretty good diagnostics feature for sure.
But it is useful. It's a
Yeah,
useful feature. Okay.
yeah.
So
The other
if the
thing is,
mountain, hold on 1 second, just let me finish this. So if the mountain is blocking the light, right? And I put myself on top of that mountain and then ask Solarium what the true position of that star is, that angle will be correct, right?
well, you said you turned atmosphere off.
Well, I'm just saying you can put yourself on top of that mountain and ask Solarium where the true position of the star is, correct?
Yeah, but I can't. I have no way to know what the true position of the star actually is. All I can tell you for sure
Well,
is that.
isn't that
Well,
the
just
point
let me
though
finish.
of
I'll let you
the
finish. I'm almost done. Yeah, from my own experience with atmosphere turned on, it does give the apparent. It accurately gives the apparent position for the observer location. I can't testify as to the true position because I have no way to measure what the true position is unless I get outside the atmosphere.
isn't that what the celestial theodolite is doing? Is testing the true position of the starlight?
That's what they claim, but that violates physics.
Well,
And
where do you disagree? I want to know exactly what part of that observation do you disagree with?
two parts. One is that they're claiming that refraction has no effect on it, and I've done enough
They never
study.
no, that's incorrect. They don't say that.
Okay, is it true that they say that at the time of occlusion, the geometric elevation angle to the mountain is equal to the geometric elevation angle to the star at the moment of occlusion?
I believe what they do is they check where the star true position is at the time of occlusion. They put themselves on top of the mountain that is occluding it, and then they're able to determine the elevation of the mountain and the distance where the observation was made. And the globe can't do that.
Okay, are you aware that I am the second man in the world to release public star occlusion timing videos related to the celestial theodolite. Dr.
Jesse, I've been
Heffron,
listening. I've been listening to your bullshit for the longest time.
okay,
So
well,
I've heard all of it.
okay, well, back to this question I asked you. I asked you a question and you didn't answer it. The answer is yes. They do claim that at the moment of occlusion, the elevation angle is equal, the geometric elevation angle to the mountain is equal to that of the star. Dr. Heffron himself said that live on a Monday evening show. So let me ask you, if at any point along that path the light takes a non-straight path, how could it be possible that those two things were at the geometric equal angle? You see what I'm saying? You can't have 3 points in a straight line when the line isn't straight, right?
The whole point of the observation is the occlusion. Once the star is not seen anymore, that time is recorded, correct?
Correct. Or in my case, I was doing emergences because I was looking eastward.
And so, like, that's another question I had for you, because wouldn't you want to do a longer distance observation so that you can have a distinguishable amount of separation between globe and flat?
Longer than what?
Well, like say 50 miles.
Most of theirs weren't 50 miles, and in fact, the difference between globe and flat at even 25 miles is 131 meters, which is well within the capability of this method to differentiate.
So,
Yes.
what's your longest distance of observation of a emergence?
25.4 miles, I believe it was.
Okay, so you're using the method.
Yes.
So what's your problem with the method then? Why do you continually say
it doesn't work?
It doesn't work because it doesn't work for the globe.
Doesn't show a globe.
That's why it doesn't work.
Right.
Well, what do you mean? In my case,
what do you mean? What do I mean?
Hear me out. Hear me out.
The internal timing is planar.
Was it a plane second?
No, it's planar. I'm saying when you do the
planar
internal
second,
timing
yes.
itself. Yeah, not
No,
like not optical. Yeah, not optical based, but the actual timing itself. It's like if you call that like an internal timing, meaning it's like internal to the system, that is what reveals the planar geometry.
Well, in my particular case, I was 25.4 miles away from the mountain, and I filmed like I think 14 stars rising behind that mountain, and that I was able to identify later in the video. And they all matched the globe prediction for the elevation angle to that mountain. So that's my problem with the method, is it depends on the distances and altitude differences involved, and it's like a smorgasbord. You can get all kinds of different results that match flat or match globe or match a tiny globe or match even concave. So that's my big problem with it, is it doesn't work. It is not predicted by arctangent of rise over run.
So if it doesn't work, then why do you care? Like, why are you trying to prove that it's closer to the globe? Like, if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Like, you shouldn't even be worried about whether or not it proves globe or flat. You should just be like, this doesn't work. But
That
you
is my
constantly
claim, is that it doesn't work. I do not present it as globe evidence, not using their method.
So you don't believe in planar trig.
Jesse, so you found out that that it doesn't work for the globe and decided just to dismiss the whole method and say the method's invalid? Because that wasn't what you were saying originally.
Exactly.
No, I said it doesn't work. It does not match any model. You could say it matches them all. It is not exclusive to any model.
Why do they have like 43 that are exclusive to planar?
They don't. If you actually look in the data, pick any even very generous, give yourself like every possible advantage, pick a really generous margin of uncertainty, and look at all of their actual data points that fall within that margin of uncertainty to matching flat Earth, very few actually do.
All right. Well, I mean, that's a claim you're not making. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously contrary to what all their evidence shows. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know where to move forward with that part, unless we want to pull up their information, or you should just discuss it with them as well. But I was just mentioning that I think it's 43. Is it more than 43? That number popped in my head is how many they have.
Well, the problem is that every time that they try to get down to the nuts and bolts of what exactly it is about what they're doing that is wrong, he tends to just escape all that by saying, "Oh, well, it matches the globe and it matches this and it matches a," but there's no evidence of that. Like all of their data is right there. It's right there for you to see and everything. And like it's planar trig. It's so simple. Like if I can figure it out, and I don't know very much about all this stuff, but like I can visualize all that in my head and it makes perfect sense.
So does the globe, man. The globe in my head is perfect.
So like anybody that tries to say, "Oh no, it doesn't work" or whatever, no, it doesn't work because you guys don't like the result of it. It doesn't match globe at all, ever.
Well, no, sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. So you can't say that it never matches globe. I have 14 measurements that match globe. Alan got one that matches globe. Goose got one that matches globe. And those are just the ones I can think of. And then Blodgett Peak and Cheyenne Mountain were both halfway between flat and globe prediction. How can you call it? How can you call it exclusive to flat when it's halfway between flat and globe, right?
Just because you say right after what you say doesn't make it right.
Well, I'm asking you. Do you disagree? If those, are you saying that those two measurement data sets are exclusive to flat Earth, even though they're about halfway between flat and globe prediction?
Dude, I don't have their data right in front of me at the moment, so I can't really go through every single one. But
yeah,
well,
we don't have.
Okay, I have gone through every single one.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have.
But every time that they're on there, and you try and
did we go through
it's
airplanes?
Never mind. Whatever.
Wait, what were you saying? Every time they do a update, Jesse doesn't bring the rebuttal.
Well, and Gio, I wanted to say this to you because I listened to you last night, and I agree with you, man. Like I think people need to be able to say what they will, and truth will find its way through. Totally agree with you on that. I think they were being very short with everybody. I see their side of it too because they're so super frustrated with people coming at them with the same, obfuscations and rhetoric. And so I get their frustration, but also I listened to it and I agreed with you on a lot of your points. I do believe that people need to be able to say what they have to say, which Jesse, I will say this, dude, I think they cut you off a few times a little bit too short. Sometimes I want to hear what you have to say before I hear their part of it. So I see that point, but I've heard a lot of this, and what I witness anyway is I would witness people that are very transparent with what they're doing. I see Mike Heffron doing his very damnedest to be as simple about this as possible. And all I hear is just people bitching and moaning about why it doesn't match the globe. And you try to take refraction on both sides of the mountain and all this different wild stuff. And it's just a simple planar trig is what I'm seeing. And I don't understand why you guys are just not addressing what would be the problem with that.
Well, I encourage you to look in the data. I tried to go over it with you right now. You says, oh, you're not familiar with it, but definitely familiarize yourself with it. And you will see that the method actually does not work as it was set out. That's why Dr. Heffron started adding in per measurement time adjustments to make it all match. And then Alan recognized that as
well, that's what you were doing. That's what you were doing, though.
No, I wasn't.
You're fudging all types of numbers to make it match the globe. What are you talking about?
No, I wasn't. Unless you're talking about the one parody sheet I did just to show that fudge factors could use to make it match anything. But that was just for fun, because that's what Mike was doing. So I'm like, okay, well, I can do fudge factors, but I clearly presented it as fudge factors. But is that what you're talking about?
Again, dude, like I don't have everything in front of me. But I will say, next time you're on there, if you ever do get on there again, I want you to address what the problem you have with what they're doing,
You know,
point by point.
I do try, but usually I'm not allowed to finish.
Thank you, Gio, for a great server. Letting us talk about everything, man. I love it. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, hey Gio, I want to let you know this too, man. I've been listening a long time to you, man, and you do a great job. Just want to tell you, keep it up.
Yep.
You do a really
It's
great job of.
It's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, thanks so much. Appreciate that. And
But yeah, we
Yeah.
can talk about vaccines, or we can talk about angles and light. Yeah, reclusion. We got a lot of things to deal with. So, but Gio, let's it all ride, man. Just put it on the table. Let's go. What do you got?
Well, and also,
I love it.
too, Jesse, man, and can you please stop talking shit about Mike when he's not around? Like, you get on here and you start saying how Mike was hired by Globers or he was hired by a flat earther or whatever. Like, dude, that's not necessary.
No, that's
Like, it
the
makes
flat
you
earthers
look.
are saying that.
No, that's you said it. I heard it on this server. You're talking to somebody about how you think that Dr. Mike was hired by a Glober to make Flat Earth look bad, or hired by a Flat Earther to make Globers look bad. Like, dude, you don't know this like from this guy. Like, how can you make that determination when all
No,
he's simply done is come out with a new way to and it's the null hypothesis, right? Null hypothesis is the Earth is not flat, right? So they're not coming up with any measurements or observations that prove that the Earth is a globe. You know what I'm saying? Like they're proven they're not able to disprove the null hypothesis.
Well,
And I believe that that's kind of where they're at. And I don't think that you're understanding that. That's just my 2 cents. That's just from what I've been listening to.
all right. Let me know when it's my
Dude,
turn. I don't want to cut you
I'm
off.
just saying, stop talking shit on these people whenever they're not around. Like it makes you look horrible and unlikable. Just saying.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sweet, thanks. So, oh, never mind. I forgot what I was gonna say.
well, there's several points.
I know.
Sorry, Gio.
As
No, I mean it's all good. I mean, if you guys want to talk it through, I mean, I mean, I have seen Jesse some of the stuff you've typed in the text chat. I mean, we could keep it like as minimal drama and just kind of more business as possible. But I mean, you're getting some feedback, Jesse. I mean, it is potentially something to think about if you are saying things about people,
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. I'm just saying. Like sometimes I hear Jesse and he just talks shit about like Alan and everybody, and it's like, dude, that's a bad look. It's a bad look.
Well, let me say this: if you or anybody ever thinks I said something that's not true or not justified, you call me out. I will discuss it with you. Okay? Because I stand behind what I say, and I could be wrong. Maybe I need you to call me out. I will discuss it with you. So there you go.
Hey, man, we saw some lights in the sky. Got some angles. We're getting busy with that, I mean, the stuff's you got to get busy with that. It's good. It's a lot of work. I get it.
I mean, there's probably attacks going around on both, quote unquote sides, as it were.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you listen to them on their shows, they bowed mouth me like, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, yeah.
Yeah. It's they've been taking it both sides. But anyway, back to angles and stuff. I love angles. I use them all the time. Every day I cut wood or metal or something. Man. I'm busy angling some serious angles to stuff.
I'm an angle grinder.
I mean, Jesse, so if you're saying just to jump back real quick, if you're saying the method doesn't work, why is it that they're able to derive the elevation and the distance?
Yeah. Well, yeah. How are they able to make these predictions and be right on almost?
By cherry picking the ones that match, and then showcasing the ones that match. And
that's what you're claiming they're doing. I mean, that's a pretty big accusation right there.
I showcase airplanes all the time.
All you have to do is look at the data. I submitted a recording with 14 emergences that were actually all using their own method, matching a slightly smaller than globe Earth, and among their own
slightly smaller globe. What does that mean? What does a slightly smaller globe mean? It's either a globe or it's not.
Well, that's the fallacy of their method. It does not yield only one thing. It can give all kinds of different results. And so
the elevation of the mountain and the distance from the observation, you're saying that that's a cherry picked data. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, for anybody who is trying to purport that their method supports any particular model is cherry picking.
So what if their data? Okay, so that just doesn't make sense to me, man. How do you cherry pick that type of data? I don't. So you're saying that there's other data out there that doesn't predict the elevation of the mountain or the distance from the observation? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, most of them. Most of them do not predict the flat Earth angle.
That's too long, bro.
I've never heard you say that before, like to them anyway. I don't know. Maybe you have, and I just haven't heard it.
Yeah, in fact, if you search the text.
So your problem is cherry picked data. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Well, and the method doesn't work. If a method works, it should work. If I say here's a ruler, go measure some things, and I say, oh, but stretch it a little to give me the numbers I want. That's not a measurement anymore, right? A rubber ruler is not a measurement anymore.
Well, that's what the globe does, though, is stretches it with the refraction. They're able to actually derive the elevation and distance without having to fudge anything, whereas essentially the globe does have to adjust it to get the globe result. And that's why the globe result's not able to actually predict it, and the planar is. So if you're saying it doesn't work, it seems like it's the opposite. It seems like it does work because they're able to derive that. The globe's the one that doesn't work. So are you just being like, oh, I have this broken globe thing, so I'm just going to say the whole thing's broken instead of just realizing that it breaks the globe?
Well, it doesn't break the globe. I'm not sure what you mean. And the globe does work. I put forward a measurement method that does work. It's just standard surveying. Find a observer location and a target where you can take repeated readings any time of day, any time of night, any time of year, and they're all consistent with each other. Add on globe drop, subtract standard refraction, and you will accurately measure the height of that mountain. It works.
I love how you just slipped that in there.
But the point is, it works. Okay.
Oh my God, dude, that's so funny.
The point is, and you will accurately measure the height of that mountain. Method that does work. It's just standard surveying. Find a observer location and a target where you can take repeated readings any time of day, any time of night, any time of year, and they're all consistent with each other. Add on globe drop, subtract standard refraction, and you will accurately measure the height of that mountain. It works.
I love how you just slipped that in there.
But the point is, it works. Okay.
Oh my God, dude, that's so funny.
The point is, I've defined a procedure that anybody can do anywhere, and if they follow the procedure I set forth, it will work. It will give an accurate reading of the mountain height. Okay?
Turn around, jump on one foot, spin around to the left, dip down, and there you go. There you got it.
They gave a procedure. They're like, go out, stay up all night, film the stars setting, put stellarium on the mountain peak, turn off atmosphere, and that's they have a little routine.
But they're not doing secondary measurements. They're not taking a measurement and then adding something or just subtracting something to it to get a different measurement. That's not what they're doing. They're getting raw data.
Well, actually, they are. Because in
I
reality,
disagree with that.
well, let me explain, please. In reality, when you move towards the GP of a star, for every 60 nautical miles you move towards it, it rises pretty much 1 degree in elevation angle. So by moving stellarium closer, i.e. to the mountain peak, they're adding in 1 degree per nautical mile, or 1 degree per 60 nautical miles. And that is basically a form of arbitrary fudge factor. That's why it works for some mountains and not others, because different mountains are different distances, and so it depends on what distance the mountain is, and that controls how much fudge factor you get to add in, right?
Well, didn't you take a measurement, or you tried to take a measurement from like a tower that was halfway up a mountain or something like that? You didn't actually take the measurement from the top of the mountain. It was from like there's a tower or something. Does that sound familiar?
No, I was on Edith's Hook in Port Angeles, Washington, about sea level. I mean, a few meters above sea level, and I was filming star emergences behind a mountain, out from behind a mountain, 25.4 miles away. And there was a radio tower on that mountain, but I'm not sure what you're specifically thinking of. A radio tower does not invalidate a mountain from occluding stars.
But you were just saying how
Dude.
there was a fudge factor of going from the top of the mountain to the star. There needs to be some sort of correction, right? But you were taking an occlusion from a tower
No,
that actually
I was not.
wasn't. Okay? So okay. Maybe I heard that wrong.
Yeah, I'll drop the video in for you, and I'll give you the identification chart too for all the stars.
Yeah, I think you guys need to check each other's stuff, man. Check it out. It's been going on. Angles to the occlusions. I get it, bro.
Do you have any mountains? Do you have any mountains over there, kid?
Dude, I got all kinds of mountains, man. I got like 14,000
Come on.
Come on. How big do you need?
Get a telescope. Get a telescope. Get a timestamp.
Get a timestamp.
Find a star and wait for it to get occluded, and then you can be part of this.
Go, Dio. Go.
Well, he just posted this thing. So, like, are you saying that the method doesn't work, or are you saying it gives globe results? Because now you're saying both.
I am saying both. It gives flat results, it gives concave results, it gives tiny globe results, and it gives normal globe results, and everything in between, depending on the combination of mountain height, mountain distance, and observer height.
You got a concave in there?
They had a concave. Their Greenhorn Mountain, it wasn't an exact mirrored concave, it was a fat concave, but their Greenhorn Mountain data series gave a very consistent data set that claimed by their method that the mountain was 2,000 feet taller than published, which would be the equivalent of a large concave Earth. At first, when I asked Alan about it, he was like, well, it's published wrong then. I'm like, well, wouldn't that catch a lot of airplanes? He's like, oh, yeah.
That observation did not correctly get the elevation of the mountain peak that was occluding it, or the distance from the observation. You're saying that it was different than what a flat Earth would predict? Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
What was the difference? Like, what was the discrepancy? You're saying the mountain was too high or too low, or what?
The Greenhorn Mountain? Yeah, using their method, made the mountain out to be 2,000 feet higher than published. Which, of course, would...
So then what was occluding the star then?
The mountain peak.
Okay, so the mountain peak was occluding the star. They went top of the mountain peak, found the star, got the angle, and you're saying that from their observation point, the elevation of the mountain was 2,000 feet higher than what it should have been?
Right, exactly.
I don't see how that would be possible. Like, how would you... I don't know,
Well,
man. It sounds
let me
like
let me explain. That
budget
mountain,
numbers.
yeah, that mountain was 82 miles away, if I remember correctly. And remember, I said that the star altitude angle goes up 1 degree every 60 nautical miles. So because they moved stellarium all the way forward onto that mountain peak, that raised the angle up 1 degree per 60 nautical miles, which was too much to match flat Earth. If the mountain had been closer, then it would have matched. If it had been too close, though, then it would have matched a globe. Or something somewhere in between.
Far out, man.
I missed you, buddy.
Miss you too, brother. We
Mind blowing.
You know-
Just absolutely amazing. Mind blowing stuff.
But anyway, check out my video. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but I time-stamped it to where a star rises, so you can hear my excitement.
Why did you do the star rising? Why didn't you do the way that they were doing it? Why would you choose
Star setting.
that method?
Star setting, star rising. Which one would you
Star rising, yeah. Why did you choose star rising?
Because of where I live, there's lots of trees and stuff, and I couldn't find any practical place to go where I could see a mountain to the west where the stars would be setting. So, but I did find a place that was public access, which means I can share my coordinates and all that cool stuff. And it was a good distance from a mountain, but the mountain happened to be to the east, and that means they were rising. So that's just. But they all agree that it doesn't matter whether it's rising or setting. The math is the same.
Okay. Mass. I love mass.
But according to them, they said that the way that you were doing it still matched flatter. So you're saying that they're wrong about that?
I'm not sure what all you're thinking of them saying about me. They say a lot of things about me that's not true. Like they like to
Not
say that
about
I'm
you.
doing something
Not
differently.
about you. I'm talking about your observation, your star. What do you call it?
Oh, the emergence timings.
Emergence. So they said that still matches flatter. So you're saying that that's not correct.
So I think what they said was that it was too close to tell. In other words, they ruled that one as unreliable and therefore struck it from the data set that counted.
Right, because like the way I'm picturing it in my head is the closer distance that you have for the observation is there's not that much separation between a flat Earth prediction and a globe Earth prediction.
True,
But
but
the thing is they're still not able. The globe is still not able to predict correct elevation or correct observation distance.
well, the globe is using methods that work. This method that Heffron proposed just doesn't work. That's the problem. So
Well, it works because they're able to they're able to get the correct mountain elevations. They're able to get the correct distance for the observation. So it is working. You can't say it doesn't work because they have all these 43 different observations that all say that you're wrong about that. So, but without you telling me exactly what is wrong with their observations, I don't know, man. It's just, it seems to me that they've been very transparent. They have all these spreadsheets. They've been even giving you guys benefit of the doubt by saying, okay, well, this is what it would happen if it was on a globe, and you guys disagree with that. You guys say that they're straw manning the globe, but you can't really tell us like how they're straw manning it. Like, what do you like? I don't know. It just seems really wishy washy.
Oh, I can tell you how they're strawmanning the globe if you want, but you also raised another point there. You said that they're able to predict the elevation angles to the mountains. They're not.
No, not the angles. I'm talking about they're able to take the time of occlusion, and they're able to look at the star where it was at, and then they're able to correctly with that math with planar trig, from what I understand, they're able to derive the elevation of the mountain and the distance from where the observation was made.
Okay, would you like to try that on my Blind Mountain data here? Because I'm telling you, it is not going to work. And in fact, it does not work for most of their data. If you actually do it, you will find that only a few of them actually match the flat Earth prediction.
So then their data and them saying that everything matches flat Earth, you're saying no.
That's correct.
Okay. Well.
As far as them strawmanning the globe, I have a diagram that I'll tag you with here. Hold on. There you go. So, I don't know how much you like solving triangles, but if you have a right triangle and you know the length of one side and the angle of one of the two sides that's not 90, then you can solve all the rest. You can calculate all the rest just knowing those two bits of item, because you already know one is 90. So knowing one additional angle and a side length is 3 pieces of information, and that's all you need to do to solve everything for the whole triangle.
Yeah, and they're saying that every observation that has been made, they've been able to derive elevation of the mountain and distance from where the observation was made. That's what their claim is, right?
That
They're
is what
claiming
their
that
claim is.
that's all flat Earth, but you're saying that they're just cherry picking.
Yes, and if you're willing, I will show you multiple
But
examples.
you're not cherry picking.
No, I am representing. In fact, look at this.
So you're doing everything right, and they're doing everything wrong. Okay, I get it.
I'm doing my best.
Well.
In fact, look at this. Not the last diagram I posted, but the one before. I think I tagged you. Do you see there's kind of like a little, it looks like a little graph with a red and a blue line, and it says like Pikes Peak and Blodgett Peak and Cheyenne and Mount Rosa and stuff?
Yeah, whatever. I'll take your word. I can't look at it right now. I'm doing something else. But.
Well, I am showing a whole bunch of data. It's not the full data set simply because I made this before the full data set was available, but it's all the major points. And it includes their best data set, Mount Rosa, and you can see it's close to the flat Earth prediction, but none of the rest of them are. None of the rest of them match. Some are closer than others, some are drastically farther than others, but none of them match, except Mount Rosa is really close. Pikes Peak is kind of semi-close, but still not a match, statistically speaking.
But their method doesn't work, though, so how do you know it doesn't match? If their method is crap, then...
Well, I mean, I'm saying that in the case of Pikes Peak and most of the other data points, their method does not yield an angle that matches the flat Earth prediction of arctangent of rise over run.
Rise over run, running.
I think that was my first Discord experience.
Yeah, I did that a lot.
Hey guys, this is my friend Jared. He's an old hangout guy.
Yep.
Be nice to him. Yeah.
Anyway, back to airplanes. Fly on a flat stationary plane. It's kind of funny how they try to explain that. Oh no, they have to navigate the spin and the curve and everything. Yeah, it's kind of.
Dude, what's the mechanism? Just show me a mechanism. That's all I want.
What is it called?
What is the mechanism?
I got the answer, Jared. It's called the spinometer and the
anti-spinometer.
No, the curvometer. You got to have a curvometer. If you don't have a curvometer, man, you're gonna crash your plane, bro. Trust me.
And that vicious wind, man. That wind, man. Holy shit! You gotta watch out for the wind.
It's hidden in the wind.
Hidden in the wind.
Yeah. What do you think of that song, bro? I know you've heard it.
I love it. I think it's great. Dude, I love dude. I feel like I'm a stalker because I've listened to all your guys' stuff.
You are a stalker. Do you know he made that on his phone? He made that song on his phone, bro. I was like, What? He goes, yeah, I just
That's
cranked that
crazy.
out of my phone. It scared me a little bit, right? I think you could sing that part much better, bro. Much better than that, AI version from his phone. That's funny.
Yeah, dude, I can make it part of my music therapy.
Yes, you can.
Hey Jesse, are you gonna like make a video or something where you explain your rebuttal, or are you gonna do it on the live stream, or if you think you have one?
I would like to present my argument on the live stream. First, Alan said he would let me during last Monday's live stream. Then in DMs, he was like, no, this is old hat. I'm not going to let you. And then he's like, well, okay, I'll let you. So I think if I can make it home from work in time, that I'll get a little word in, but we'll see.
Yeah, just like if we're shifting topics, like just one of my final thoughts on that whole, it just, I don't know, man. For something that should be able to just be so clearly refuted, if it was a globe, it does seem like the globe folks, in a way, and perhaps some of your contributions. I'm trying to say this as respectfully as possible, but it kind of seems like there's been a lot of like kind of jumping around and like maybe trying different things, like this claim, that claim. I've just heard a lot of different kind of claims, that have been coming through, and then it just doesn't seem like there's anything solid, like a solid something that actually addresses it. Like John keeps going to the optical. Ruhif has kind of gone through it a bit, but it's definitely lacking in terms of a rebuttal. So if you have a new thing now you're just saying the method doesn't work. I mean, but they've already clearly defined it, over multiple times and given people the tools that they can do it themselves. So
As I
Yeah,
did.
and
all
if
that
you
being
can
the
be
case,
and if you could be as specific as possible when it comes to what you think is cherry picked, like if you could just like go through the data or whatever, like this, and this is what I think is cherry picked, and then you say what why you think it's cherry picked or whatever, and then let them rebut, and then you go, and then they go, like a back and forth conversation without like any of the extra stuff is what I really want to hear, And Gio, I'm totally with you on that. Like you nailed it yesterday, like last night anyway.
Yeah, and I can understand, Gio, why it would seem like I never have any rebuttal, because they know where I'm going and they shut me down before I get there. So I actually really appreciate what you calling them out for just silencing the opposition on Monday.
yeah, cheers, guys. I didn't even necessarily totally plan for that. I mean, it had been a thing that had kind of built up over, some of the, like, every Monday there was usually like maybe one or two people that seemed like they were kind of cut short in some way. I will say though, I do actually understand in a way. I was going to say this before, but on this, like, it is in a way understandable that they have put it forth in such a direct way and it can be replicated. And it does seem like a lot of the things that they're getting are like all of these, like, maybe diversions or some of these even like more kind of troll related things, maybe to some extent,
Yeah,
maybe not all of them.
totally.
But so there is like some games going on. It seems like it's not real clear, especially when they're doing the presentation, they're asking people to refute the actual method, and then when people are like, well, what about this other thing and this side thing and then this other side thing? And so I do understand the frustration in that way. And I can see how that can build up too, and then people are, saying stuff and there's stuff being said and whatever too. So yeah, but at the same time, yeah, we, ideally people want to hear, all the different perspectives on it, and, and be able to hear, like, even with the optical thing, like, we could even, I mean, I'd even like to hear like, okay, well, why do the optics show that,
Yes,
et
I'm
cetera.
totally with you on that. Why, like, let's get down to the bare bones of this. Like, let's stick to one thing. Like, what is it about, X that you feel is not correct or that you feel should be this way? Like that. I don't feel like that the conversation is going in that direction. I think it might be on both sides' fault, but obviously I'm going to be a little biased here. But the Globers tend to be the ones that don't want to like stick to the point of what it's all about. And what it's all about is occlusion timing, and it turns into this big, mishmash of different refraction and refraction this, and what about this? And it's like, dude, it just gets really hard to listen to.
Yeah, well, basically,
so,
go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it's just really, like I can picture, like when I'm at work, I have to listen to all this stuff without any visuals. So I'm picturing all this in my head, and I could totally, like, what they say makes total sense to me. Like I can picture everything correctly, what they're trying to prove by what they're doing, and what the deal is, the whole null hypothesis, which is the Earth is not flat. That's the null hypothesis, and they have not been able to disprove that.
Well,
that is one thing that I've noticed. There's nothing in their data that is showing that it's been disproved. So,
well, that's because they have not set out a criteria that would allow it to be disproved. So that, in other words, their null hypothesis is, as defined, unfalsifiable. I asked them many times, what would it take? How wrong would your method have to be in order to disprove or to refute your null hypothesis? And neither Dr. Heffron nor anybody would tell me. So it is an unrefutable, it's an unfalsifiable null hypothesis.
Well, I disagree. I like with the data that they're showing, and they're basically just recording time, occlusion time, and doing the planar trig. And it's just that simple. And it's coming up that every time they're able to derive elevation, derive observation distance, and when you put it next to the globe, It's not even close, is what
Well,
I'm getting. So.
I encourage you to actually look into the data, and you will find that is strictly not true.
Okay. Says you.
Well, and the data says it too. See?
Yeah. Their data says that it shows.
Well,
yeah,
you
like
can,
you've yet to show that. You've yet to show that.
yeah, you can.
You're just claiming right now. You're claiming it now. Maybe you. I mean, just you could have it. You haven't shown us yet, or something, or maybe I haven't seen it, perhaps. But I'm just saying. I think it's pretty agreed upon that you've yet to show that. So
Well,
that's what you're planning to do.
All the occlusion timings are publicly available. I've released loads of them in my spreadsheet from both sides, and so has Dr. Heffron in his spreadsheet. And the original videos are also available in most cases. Mine definitely are, and a number of Dr. Heffron's are as well. So the raw data is there. You don't have to depend on anyone. You can go get his videos, my videos, Goose's videos. It doesn't matter. And fire up Stellarium. You can go do this for yourself, and you will find that very few of them actually are even close to matching flat Earth.
Oh, that just sounds
interesting,
like
man.
They're wasting a lot of time. And I want to know this, Jesse. So since you know you've been doing this yourself and everything else like that, can you do a steel man of their position?
I can describe the process, the procedure. It's very simple.
You know what a steel man is, right?
Right. So just give me a chance. Can you allow me to steel man their position?
No, you can't do it.
I didn't think so.
Get the hell out of here. No, go ahead, man.
Yeah. So the procedure is to record the time that a star is either occluded or emerges from behind a mountain of a known distance and height delta, and then put that star name, the date and the time into Stellarium, place Stellarium on the coordinates of the mountain peak, and turn atmosphere off, and then Stellarium in the top left corner gives you the star altitude angle. You write that down, and that is said to be the true geometric elevation angle to that mountain peak. So that's their method, and their arguments are kind of along the lines.
Aren't you skipping something there? Because in there is supposed to be a line from the mountain peak to the observation point.
Well, that would be defined by the moment.
Right?
That would be defined by the moment of occlusion.
Correct.
It is their claim that at the moment of occlusion, the observer's eye, the mountain peak, and the star form a physically straight line. They're all along a perfectly straight line with each other. Those 3 points. And their argument is that the 1 degree per 60 nautical miles in the distance of the mountain does not affect that reading somehow, which I don't understand. I cannot steelman how they came to that conclusion, but that is their claim.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I apologize, Jesse. Can you say that again, please?
Yes, they deny the allegation that the 1 degree per 60 nautical miles of the star angle affects their reading.
I don't think I've ever heard him say that.
The other strange thing they say is that if you go out there on any given day and measure the angle to the top of the mountain with the theodolite, that it's going to vary because of changes in refraction. So that
don't worry about that, though. That's not even the point. The point isn't what the angle is. That's not the point at all. The point is the occlusion in the occlusion time. It has nothing to do with where the mountain is.
That the occlusion happens at the moment that the silhouette of the mountain crosses the star. And because the silhouette of the mountain is moving up and down due to refraction, which they said happens, there's no way that it's not going to affect the timing of your occlusion. If the mountain, if there's no disagreement that the star doesn't occlude until the silhouette of the mountain covers the star, and they say the silhouette of the mountain moves up and down because of refraction, how could they then say that refraction doesn't affect the measurement?
Refraction doesn't. That's taking it right out. That's why it's a celestial theodolite. It's taking you from the observation point to the top of the mountain. Refraction does not matter. That's the whole point of it. How do you guys not get that?
The only measurement that they're making is the time at which the mountain occludes the star. And the mountain occludes the star when the silhouette of the mountain physically, at the moment that the two intersect, the silhouette of the mountain and the star. However, if you go on any given day with a theodolite, depending on the seeing conditions, the precise location of that silhouette is going to vary, which means that the timing would vary from day to day, which means that the occlusion...
Nobody cares about what the
Am I making any sense here, or...
No, you're not, because refraction is taken out of it. That's why it's a celestial theodolite. It's basically taking you from the observation to the top of the mountain.
How can refraction
no theodolite measure?
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, so...
No, you can't say it. You're not allowed to say
it is true that all of our experimentation with refraction in a controlled environment does suggest that refraction would change the timing occlusion. However, it is the official celestial theodolite claim that it does eliminate refraction, and all of the followers of it just accept that without really doing any tests to find out if that's even true or not, even though there's no...
It's a test. That's a test. That's the whole point. Because what you're doing, you have a flat Earth prediction, and you have a globe Earth prediction, right? And that is how you test it.
And that is why I brought up the sidereal time thing, which is that if what they're saying is true, then then that star should be occluded at precisely one sidereal day later. And then the next day, one sidereal day later, the star should be precisely occluded. One sidereal day later, the star should be occluded. And I asked them if they did that experiment, and they said no. That would be one way to figure out whether that timing actually varies from day to day. That's yet another experiment that would prove it true that refraction isn't affecting the occlusion time. But they won't do it. That's something else you should bring up.
So you're on the camp of they're cherry picking their data, or are you on the camp that
they're making a bunch of premises that are completely unsupported by evidence? And they're refuted, and they're refuted because they agreed that refraction would affect the angle to the mountaintop, which means that refraction is moving that mountaintop, which means refraction is moving that mountaintop up and down. They also agree that the star is occluded at the moment that the silhouette of the mountain intersects the star, which means that means that occlusion varies, which means it is subject to refraction. That's why the whole thing is just dumb. It's just logic. How can you say that the mountain does move up and down, but it doesn't affect the timing of when it covers the mountain, the star? I mean, you don't think that that's like self-refuting?
Are you done?
You don't have a response? You don't have a rebuttal to that?
Are you okay? So, do you agree with me that mountain will block the light?
Yes.
Are you in agreement with me that you can take Stellarium and put yourself anywhere on the Earth, and it'll tell you where a star is at a certain point in time?
It'll give you an approximate location, but it will try to.
Is there a toggle switch? Is there a toggle switch between turning the atmosphere off and turning the atmosphere on?
Sure.
Why?
I don't know. It's just something the programmers thought that they would add that in.
Oh, so it's just something it doesn't. Yeah, it's just we're just gonna add it in.
Yeah, it's an extra correction.
That's not. So you're saying that? That's not logical to me, bro. Like,
if you get the same reason why you put yourself
on the. Are you gonna let me finish? So you put yourself on the mountaintop. You ask Stellarium where that star is. That angle to the star will give you enough data to give you the elevation of the mountain and the distance to where the observation was made. Correct? And there's two predictions. This is the whole deal of it. The null hypothesis, which is the Earth is not flat, which is why they're doing the observation in the first place.
Yeah, and the angle
they're not able to disprove that.
And the weird thing about the whole thing is the angle that they're getting is based on the initial angle given by Stellarium, which is calculated on a spherical Earth, because there's no flat Earth mechanism to calculate the angles of stars on a flat Earth.
Yeah, planar trig. So planar trig doesn't work then.
No, it doesn't work.
That's logical.
Remember when MC Toon was here and he showed how if you use planar trig, your altitude to Polaris will vary depending on your distance?
Mike can suck a bag of dicks.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Jesse.
Oh, thanks. So, 5 minutes. You said earlier that you disagreed when I said that the null hypothesis was unfalsifiable. What would you say? How wrong would their method have to be in order for that null hypothesis to be falsified for you?
Well, there's a globe Earth prediction, correct? Do occlusions happen on a globe Earth, Jesse?
Certainly. And I just presented. Maybe you weren't watching in chat.
So you take the occlusion of you take the time and then you put it to what the globe would predict, and then you put it to what the flat Earth would predict, and you see which one is closer.
Okay.
Right.
So, well, no, that's matching. Seeing what's close. That's not falsifying a hypothesis. To falsify a hypothesis, you find something that mismatches the hypothesis by enough that you consider it's falsified. So, what would it take to falsify? How wrong would their measurement have to be? For example, I just presented you with a video of 14 stars rising that all match the globe closer than flat Earth using their method. Does that falsify, or does that refute the null hypothesis for you?
I haven't been able to look at what you're sending me or anything. Right?
Okay, well, let's just say it's hypothetical. Let's say I presented to you a video that showed 14 stars rising that all matched globe Earth very closely and were not anywhere close to flat Earth. The flat Earth prediction.
So what was your steel man of your globe?
My steel man of my globe?
Yeah, how did you get the globe prediction?
Oh, arctangent of rise minus globe drop divided by run.
Minus globe drop. What does that mean?
8 inches per mile squared.
So you're using a globe prediction, right? And then you're doing the observation, and you're saying that it matches closer to the globe?
Yes. 14 of them on video.
And so the 43 observations they have, they're saying they're all flat observations. That's the cherry pick part. See, that's where you're gonna have to, like, I would have to have you like I said, I'm going to talk to them too, and to give you like a opportunity to make your point so that everybody can understand you clearly and concisely. That way you can refute everything. And that way we can get to the bottom of this, because I'm not anywhere near their intellect or what they got going on.
Oh, don't sell yourself short.
But yeah, that would be, I think, the next best step, because I honestly, I don't think this is going to go anywhere.
Well, but
at the moment,
you asked me several very pointed questions, and I did my very best to answer. So,
I appreciate that. But my only critique of you, Jesse, is just quit being a dick outside of, when they're in their presence, and I'm going to tell them to just do the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Stop being a dick to each other.
Yes, sir.
Figure this shit out. Nobody's stupid here. Everybody is fairly intelligent. I think they have a point, and you might have a point as well. I'm not hearing it as well because I'm not hearing the both sides, and I think that's where I get the most of my my information, is when I hear both people talk, and somebody says this, and the other person has a reputation to it, and then they have a reputation to the reputation, and it all comes back down to, at the end of the day, hearing both people out. Which I'm not a big fan of the whole debate format that fucking Jaronism was doing. I thought that was really kind of lame. I think if people can just learn how to not get all emotional about shit. Like, I felt myself getting emotional just now, and I don't like that. Like, I shouldn't be that way. Because, we're just all trying to figure out the truth. I hope that's the case for everybody anyway.
Absolutely.
I like to think that everybody's good and has good intentions, but I also am not stupid, and I know that that's not the case. I know there's a lot of fucking dirty motherfuckers out there. And I know who all you are. No, I'm just kidding. Kenny, definitely one. No, I'm just kidding. Love Kenny. Kenny, you still there?
Hey, 43 planes just landed on a flat stationary plane. I checked it out.
Nice.
43 in the last minute. That's all I'm saying. I know.
And I guarantee they all had an attack angle, right? That was set
absolutely
many miles before they started to descend.
Kind of descend.
Attack angle.
Yeah.
That would definitely change. That would definitely change if the Earth was moving beneath the plane. I'm sure of that.
That would be a problem. You bet your ass. It's a huge problem. It's huge. Yeah.
The next time I go on a plane, I'm going to ask the pilot. I'm going to be like, "Hey, so what do you do about the Earth moving underneath you?" And just kind of see what he says.
Well, he's going to say that what Earth moving underneath me?
What are you talking about?
Talking about. Come on. What are you?
Oh, we don't worry about all that. We let all the scientists take care of that.
You turn around and say, "Are you a globe earther or something?" Because in the cockpit, man, I treat the Earth as flat and stationary. And it's real basic, man. It's super basic. And
that's the thing, dude. And on those larger flights, the ones that are like very long distance, it's one thing if you're flying a little Cessna around your area. Yeah, you can do more charting, but that's not a wide enough region to get a shape of an Earth. Unless you have some specific project of measuring distances or something more refined. But just flying around a small area, I'm saying you have to do it over great distances. But just flying, you're not going to be able to detect that. And then when it transitions to the larger planes, where they're making these huge, larger flights, there's so much that goes on the back end that's already programmed for them. Of course, there's like GPS and all those sides of it as well. I'm not a pilot. I haven't gone through the whole system myself. However, from my understanding of it, the way it's set up right now is that you could go through you could become a pilot and go even at whatever highest level, and you have not validated a shape of an Earth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they don't really know what it is, and they're still flying on it and doing fine. And they're told what it is, but they haven't validated what it is. And that's
except the only problem there, Gio, though, is that like private jet, corporate jet pilots who have to do their own flight planning. They're all using ForeFlight, which is a spherical Earth, and they fly all around the world, and they have to get permission when they overfly certain territories and countries, and they have to give a precise time of when they're going to be entering their border and exiting their border. Yeah. And they have all those distances, and they have to time that, and they fly all over the world for their principles, and it all works cohesively, whether they're flying east, west, northwest, whether they're going from South America to Asia or from Asia all the way around, and there's no flat map that can make any of those things cohesive, and that's why you guys don't have a map.
You could put it on a coordinate system that is circular and make it look like you're going around a ball when you're really not. That's possible.
No, in the same way that you can't unravel an orange and lay it flat and not have it tear in other places and have all the points.
So you don't think that that's possible? Are you really seriously going to say that that's not possible? Really?
Not possible.
That's going to be your argument?
You think that you can unravel a peach and lay it down, or an orange and
lay
it down flat?
That's not the same thing. That's not even close to the same thing. We're talking about a coordinate system of the Earth, man.
We're not talking about coordinate system. We're talking about distances from place to place on a spherical object.
Isn't that what all maps are? Isn't that what all models are? They're just coordinate systems.
Place to place on a flat, bro.
Yeah, they put it on AE maps all over the place, right?
Except that every map is going to be distorted, and you're never going to be able to make it cohesively work from place to place all over the world. And yet, the shipping industry, the airline industry, the aviation industry, they all use spherical Earth for all their flight planning, and they have to know it, down to the distances and the times and everything that they're going to be traversing.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man.
I know you guys have to just laugh at this because you have no reputation
I'm
for
not
it.
laughing, man. I'm asking you to bring me a pilot and tell me how he does it. And I've talked to 15 pilots in the last 10 years, and they're all like, yeah, we just treat it flat and stationary. I'm like, okay. But if you got a pilot that treats it as a globe, bring him in here. That'd be cool.
What do you mean?
It'd be fun.
We've got a bunch of pilots on the other server.
Well, just bring him in here, man.
One of them is a personal friend of mine.
Great, man. Bring him in here. Let's,
Dude, we all have stories like that. Like I live in Colorado Springs. I live in Colorado Springs. I played golf with a guy on the airport. He told me the same thing. He's like, dude, we don't fly the plane like it's moving. Like the Earth doesn't move. Like it's Earth fixed. Earth-centered, Earth fixed is what he said.
You wouldn't fly the plane like it's moving. The same reason why if you're flying a drone inside a plane, you're not going to treat it like the plane.
Oh my God, dude! Really, you're going to pull that one? Oh, it's moving.
Yeah.
You just don't treat it
like
laws
of motion.
Okay, yeah.
Why would you treat it any different?
Hey, man,
falling down a gravity well right now, and all that fun stuff.
I'm getting fired up, but I got to go to bed. Dude, Jared, brother.
Yeah, all that fun stuff.
I'm getting fired up, but I got to go to bed. All right.
Love you, Kenny.
You too, Jared, brother.
Still waiting on that flat Earth map.
Laughing, man. I'm asking you to bring me a pilot and tell me how he does it. And I've talked to 15 pilots in the last 10 years, and they're all like, yeah, we just treat it flat and stationary. I'm like, okay. But if you got a pilot that treats it as a globe, bring him in here.
I mean, the same thing. He's like, dude, we don't fly the plane like it's moving. Like the Earth doesn't move. Like it's Earth fixed. Earth-centered, Earth fixed is what he said.
Flight today, Heathrow to JFK, headed west-southwest, cause there ain't no better way. Gonna find that old Coriolis, they say she's hidden in the winds, but that just can't be if we rotate east, tangential gradient. Hidden in the winds, Coriolis must be hidden in the winds, but the Earth ain't moving faster with the further south we've been. And we never could land safely with that tangential gradient. And we all know every pilot treats the Earth as motionless, so to think it must be moving is just insane, you must confess. But please don't get offended if this song makes too much sense. Just thank God that landing's easy with no tangential gradient in the winds. They said she'd just be hidden in the winds, but the Earth ain't moving faster with the further south we've been. And we never could land safely with that tangential gradient. So here's a lesson for who's listening. It's dynamics that are true. No kinematic concept could ever substitute. So the next time you are flying, no matter where you go, don't worry about rotation, cause we ain't on no damn globe. So here's a lesson for who's listening. It's dynamics that are true. No kinematic concept could ever substitute. So the next time you are flying, no matter where you go, don't worry about rotation, cause we ain't on no damn globe. Hidden in the winds, Coriolis just ain't hidden in these winds. And the Earth ain't moving faster with the further south we go. So thank God we won't be crashing when those wheels hit down below. Hidden in the winds, there ain't no Coriolis hidden in the winds. And thank God it's stationary, or we never safely land on a surface that is moving with a tangential gradient. Yes, here's a lesson for who's listening. It's dynamics that are true. No kinematic concept could ever substitute. So the next time you are flying, no matter where you go, don't worry about rotation, cause we ain't on no damn globe. Hidden in the winds, Coriolis just ain't hidden in these winds. And their Earth ain't moving faster with the further south we've been. And thank God we won't be crashing when we touch down at the end. And thank the Lord, Earth is stationary, we never safely land on a surface that is moving. There's no tangential gradient.
Golf with a guy on the Air Force. He told me the same thing. He's like, dude, we don't fly the plane like it's moving. Like the Earth doesn't move. Like it's Earth fixed. Earth centered, Earth fixed is what he said.
You wouldn't fly
He
the
didn't-
plane like it's moving. The same reason why if you're flying a drone inside a plane, you're not going to treat it like the plane.
Oh my God, dude! Really, you're gonna pull that one? Oh, it's
Of
it's
course,
moving.
yeah.
You just don't treat it
Doing
like it
lots of
is.
motion.
Okay. Yeah.
Why would you treat it any different?
Yeah,
hey
we're
man,
falling down a gravity well right now, and yeah, all that fun stuff.
I'm getting fired up, but I gotta go to bed. All right.
Love you, Kenny.
You too, Jared, brother.
Still waiting on that flat Earth map.
Hey, it's coming up, man. I'm a friend of mine and myself are working on it, man. It's not too far away.
They were talking about this 10 years ago in the community.
Yeah.
Could I say something?
Yeah, go ahead,
Jesse, you cannot ever say anything. Shut up. No, I gotta go. All right.
Well, you should talk with me and Toon and Ruhev about making a flat Earth map because each of us have.
Oh my God, dude! You just made me sick.
I'm almost done.
Just saying those three names.
I know. But listen. And we're trying to get flat earthers to do this too, but so far we've had no success. But the three of us, have actually physically measured the surface of a minute of longitude at different latitudes. And this is what's needed to form that flat Earth map, to actually get an actual mapping of surface distance between latitude and longitude points, right?
Again, dude, just because you say right after what you say doesn't make it right.
Well, do you disagree? You're always free to disagree.
No, it's all good, man. I'm a little tired myself. So I apologize. I'm not really too engaged right now. I apologize for that.
Oh, that's all right. Well,
I'm a little lackadaisical. It's about, what is it? It's 103 right now.
Oh,
where I'm
yeah.
at.
Well, anyway.
So did you say that you're in Washington? Is that right? Or
Yep.
Okay, Washington State.
Yeah, right on the corner of the country.
So you're on the let's see. So you're on the
Olympic Peninsula.
The western side of the mountains.
Yes, I'm just across the water from Canada.
Okay. By Vancouver?
Victoria. I'm right across from about south of Victoria, but there's a Straits of Juan de Fuca between us.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm in Colorado. I'm in Colorado Springs, so I look at Pikes Peak it's right outside. I actually tried to do an observation with the moon being included by one of the little small mountains that it's to the north of Pikes Peak. I got my latitude, longitude, got my time.
Oh, cool.
I just don't know what the name of the peak is. I gotta get Peak Finder, I guess, because it's one of these little hilly tops. But
did you do it from
I don't
home,
think
or
I'm
did you-
far. I was coming outside. It was like 6 a.m. It was early March, I think. I have the time written down, but it was early March, like 6 a.m. The moon was perfectly, like, you could see the mountain like right perfectly in front of the moon. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna take the time down. So I took the time down.
Beautiful, yeah.
I got my longitude, latitude down. I don't think I'm far enough away.
Oh, I see. Do you know how far the mountain was roughly?
I want to say that I'm probably, looking at Pikes Peak from where I'm at, I want to say I'm probably about 20 miles away.
Oh, that's good enough. That's Dr. Heffron's closest one was 22 point something miles away.
Yeah, well, I'll have to take a look at it. Just figure out where the peak is.
Yeah, and if you get a chance to do it when you're away from your house, like in a public place that you don't mind sharing the coordinates, I'll be glad to help you figure out what peak it is and everything.
Okay, I appreciate that.
That's why I went to a public park to do mine, was so that I could share my observer location publicly, so everyone could check my work.
Yeah, I've tried to look at stars getting included by Pikes Peak, but I think there's too much brightness, and I need to find a place that's a little bit more secluded with no light so I can pick out. And maybe someday I'll do that.